Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today. Today is Thursday, February 19th. We're going to take a look at the markets the way we usually do, and then kind of walk around the world, and then look at 5 stocks today. GPRO, LULU, Las Vegas Sands, Melco Crown, and a guest appearance by Tesla Motors. Okay, first of all, I want to wish everyone out there who is celebrating Chinese New Year a happy Chinese New Year. Today is the first day of the Spring Festival, Chinese New Year. I think it has several names, and I guess it's the year of the sheep, goat, or ram, depending on how you have an interpretation of the word yang is what I'm reading anyway. So I'm going to go with goat. But so the year of the goat. So we'll see if that's correct or close. I think it probably is. All right, let's start off here with the Dow. The Dow was down 44 points today. And over the last 2 days, yes, I am still struggling with my cold and my voice. So bear with me. I am going to probably have to take several pauses here. But when you look at the last couple of days, I talked about on Tuesday how we had the tightest range, or actually it was probably Monday, or this was last Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go, Friday. So, and I think I was looking at the S&P 500. Sorry, let me go back to that. And I was looking at that, and I think it was, yes, on the 17th, which was Tuesday. That's right, because Monday was a holiday. It's all running together. Okay, so this was the smallest range in terms of trading that we had since of this year. Okay, since all the way back to here, up at the top. Okay, and then it got even tighter on Wednesday. Okay, so yesterday it got even tighter. Now, it branched out a little bit today on the S&P, but if you go back to the Dow, you can see the Dow kind of punched. It didn't stay within this range in here. Yesterday got even tighter on the Dow. The NASDAQ continued to push to the high side. It was, continuing to move higher. The New York Composite, the interesting thing is these last 2 days are all within that trading range of the 17th on Tuesday. So they're all inside. Let me blow that up so you can see that a little bit better. So this is just doing a sideways consolidation right now. And just like when I looked at the S&P 500, let me get my crosshairs. The thing that's interesting is the low on Tuesday was like 89.8, so it's 2090, let's call it. The low today, 2090.79. So 2090 is putting in as support right now. Well, that's interesting that's right where the close was back on December 29th, 2090.57. So that's generating right now some support in here, and the consolidation's happening just like it is on the New York Composite, etc. Russell 2000 is doing like the NASDAQ, and it's kind of pushing to the high side. Short-term trading index has pulled up on the 10-day. We got this little extreme reading here, and we'll see whether we get more or not. But right now it's pulling back up. And the volatility index continues to collapse. It's bouncing around a little bit, but it's pulled back down. Not getting any particular. Let me look at something real quick. Let me look at the RSI. I mean, it's definitely, it's not really showing me anything. At least not that I'm seeing. Not that's jumping out at me. Not as dramatic as this picture right in here before that big move. The divergence. Anyway, high low, this continues to just meander sideways. But again, it has not yet confirmed, the move to the upside that the markets are doing. And let me see. Hopefully, I opened up some of these other indices. Yes, I did. All right. Now I want to go ahead. Oh, I wanted to mention before we do that. The 10-day put to call ratio is now 0.62. So it's continuing to drop, but it's not at an extreme reading yet. And it needs to get down in the 0.5, like below 0.60. So it's going to take some more bullish days of, low readings here, which we could get, a whole series of that. But we're not in that red alert bullish territory on the put to call ratio. And we really haven't had that kind of a reading since back in June. Almost a whole month of June got really, really bullish. Okay. All right, let's move on to the country indices real quick. In Germany, take a look at the German DAX. You can see how the German DAX continues to push to the high side in here. This almost looks like a little bit of an ending diagonal that it's trying to do. If you know what I'm talking about here, if you see what I'm seeing, and I don't know if that's what's going to play out or not, but that's what immediately jumps out at me when I look at this. And let's see, the next one I wanted to look at is Russia, just because of the influence, what's going on with Europe and everything with Ukraine. Russia continues to push to the high side here. They had those peace talks, the ceasefire. I think they're still struggling with all that. And they're trying to make it work, and as a result, I think this is why this is rallying. India's it's not real dynamic, but it's continuing to push to the high side up in here. Let me see what 19th, 18th, 16th. Okay. And then last but not least, the Shanghai Composite here in China. Now, the last day of trading on here is the 17th. So they did not trade yesterday or today, and I really haven't checked to see when they reopen. I know they shut down for several days, and I just, I think they reopen sometime next week, but it may be a whole week off. I can't remember. Okay, so that's it on the Shanghai Composite. Let's see, last Thursday would have been the 12th. And so that's right in here. So since the 12th, they had, 3 up days continuing to, push up. Small, not real strong bullish days, but, in the right direction anyway. Okay, now I want to take a look at GPRO. So GPRO had this big day on the 17th, on Tuesday, and then literally turned right around and collapsed right back down on the next day. And today we had a little bit of a consolidation day back down in here. Now, the thing that's interesting on GPRO is it does look like it's really trying to put in a bottom. I mean, look at this divergence that's in here. But this is why you just can't, I look for divergence, and then I'm looking for some kind of confirmation in price action too. Now, for the first time, I'm getting it here on the directional movement, DI minus, okay? It did not happen here, okay? So this move, there was no divergence on the DI minus here, although it showed up on the other two. So this move right here is the first time I'm getting divergence showing on all 3 indicators. So that could mean something. But again, what I'm going to need to see is for this price action to get back up above the 10 and get this start to pull up, break this trend line in the process, which is, like a, I don't know, 6 week, 7 week trend line. But actually you can see this thing has been downtrending since last October. But it does look like it's trying to turn. This looked like it on Tuesday, like it made this huge move up and trying to do it. Let's look at the volume. The volume was big both days, the up day and then the selling day. And then, we had it on the selling here. So, the dotted line is the 50-day moving average on the volume. So anyway, continue to watch GoPro. So that could become an interesting situation. Lulu's the next one I'm going to take a look at. All right, the thing with Lulu is that this has been in this really, really strong move since October, okay? And this almost looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be still doing some kind of 4 because this was a sharp. This could be some kind of, extended move in here. It looks like it's running into a little bit of resistance at the previous highs that it got in here. High 67.71, high today 67.90s, and then it reversed back down. It's been in a really, really strong move, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of pullback, some kind of, you can see how overbought it got on the RSI, really strong. Classic move. Okay, the next one, Las Vegas Sands. And in Las Vegas Sands, I've talked about this triangular formation that's patterned in here. And, it broke out of this triangle. And the thing, though, that I'm really cautious about is that the 55-day is below the 233-day. And this 233-day moving average, this dark blue line here, dark blue, is trending down, okay? Now, that doesn't mean this can't come up here and price action, still break above if it's strong enough. But that's going to weigh heavily on this whole scenario right now. And, I've got this dotted line where, some resistance has come in up here. So even if this continues to make a run, I think it's going to run into resistance up in here as this thing pulls down and it runs into this resistance zone. Like right here, it didn't even quite get it when it sold off. High 65.35. Here, the high was 65.83. So once it gets above 65, it seems to be running into selling. There was a little gap here and there was a previous low here. So we'll see. It's trying to turn, but when you look at the bigger picture, once you start to get this dramatic of a breakdown at the 55 below that, it's negative. Now, you can get a snapback, rally like this up to the 233. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. And that's why I'm focused in on that resistance and that down line. We'll see if that continues to happen. And the next one we're looking at is Melco Crown, which is a similar situation. Notice how you got the triangular pattern here. And it broke out of it. It's coming up. It's approaching this same type of deal as Las Vegas Sands. And again, the downtrend that you're seeing with the 55. Now, the interesting thing here is the 55 is starting to turn up a little bit. It's because of the price action. But the price action is getting a little extended. It's getting compressed in here too. You start getting these, after you've got big bars, you get littler bars, and then you get a tiny bar. A lot of times that means that, something is going, like a change is going to happen or a little turning point is going to happen. I get cautious when I start to see that. It's no guarantee, but it's like a little flag goes off in my mind. You start to think, okay, let's watch this. So, okay, and then let's see, that's it. And then the last one I wanted to take a look at is Tesla Motors tonight. And Tesla is really interesting. You had the big sell-off. I think this was after their earnings. And now it's bouncing back. And, the interesting thing on that sell-off day is that, it didn't close. It closed near the high of the day, and it's been trending up ever since then. Okay, you had this big gap down. And the thing I was really interested in, I think there's a real possibility that Tesla has just done a sideways correction in here. Kind of a, almost looks like, although it almost pulled back to here, but it's a little bit of a running flat in Elliott wave terminology. And A, B, C, and C, since C didn't pull back as far as A, that's why I'm calling it a running flat, because B went beyond the beginning of A and C did not pull back to A. So, given that, That's why I'm thinking that this is a completed wave 2 correction, and that we are now starting, you know, a wave 3. Okay, and the thing I saw in here was 5 waves. Okay, so first minor wave up, which is always followed by a second wave back. Well, this looks like a zigzag to me. I mean, assuming that that's completed, and given that this looks like 5 waves, this kind of looks like the right picture to me. And let me get rid of this, go back to my thing. And the other thing is, you know, you got this deep pullback, which a lot of times wave 2s are 50 to 61.8% or greater. It didn't go beyond the beginning of this little wave. I would have liked, I think I've mentioned this before, last time we looked at this was on February 7th, which was back, I don't know, right at the high here, close to in here, right up in here. And I remember thinking that we'd seen these 5 waves, and after 5 waves I was thinking we'd get this pullback, and of course then we got it. So now we're looks like we're taking off. Now we're going to need to break this trend line. I want to see another close above the 10-day, the blue line, 10-day moving average, and see this continue to push in here. And the other thing that I've noticed that's real interesting, and then we'll end it for tonight. Let me apply a clean template. Okay, so here is the same chart that we were looking at with nothing on it except the price bars. Okay, so here's what I want to do in here. Is let's take a look at this little formation, the last 2 months with the formation that I think may be starting off a potential new leg. This almost looks like a head and shoulders bottom to me of this pullback, you know, like a bottoming action of the pullback. Now, I would have liked to have seen more volume in here in this move right here, in here. So that's about the only negative I'm seeing. And this volume in here, actually, the second thing is a little deeper than I would like to see. But, you know, I'm going to throw this scenario out here just because I saw it, and you never know what's going to happen. So this is potential shoulder, head, and shoulder. Okay, and so then what you'd be looking at is this price action in here. When it breaks it, if it breaks it in here, we'll go this distance. Okay, and it kind of projects, when you look at it, 185 to 225, what's that, 45, but actually what you do is measure on the screen. It projects like it's going to at least retest and get up in here, and you know, have this little gap, and it might come right up in here. Where is that? That is 280. So I could see that if it comes up, starts to break this, that it's got a realistic chance of going after 280 or new highs. All right, that's my take on Tesla Motors for tonight, and we'll be back on Saturday. Hopefully I can get my voice back, and everyone have a great Friday. Thanks for stopping in, and if you're watching this anywhere but besides my website, head on over there, check out my post, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Gives you access to the Trade Ideas webpage and the free PDF I've got for you, the 5 essentials. So until next time, stay focused, follow your plan, and trade without fear. Have a great Friday, everyone.